WAND's Friday Frenzy 15 starts now.
All right, well, thanks for sticking with us or turning over to the WAND Now app for the Frenzy 15.
Never gets old.
Never does, never does. Basketball season rolling on, getting ready to enter the last month of the regular season. Crazy to think about, plenty of action. Scores going at the bottom of your screen. We'll have a little bit of everything tonight from high school, college, and even some professional sports. So make sure to tune around.
There's so much to look forward to. And at this point in the season, we've kind of, crossed the threshold of all the stuff for like the remaining fall sports and stuff. Now we're kind of getting into the kind of closing stages of the winter season as we go into the postseason for those. But so much to get to. We got Illini basketball, got another tough road game coming up as they travel to Nebraska, take on the Cornhuskers in a rematch on Sunday.
Yeah, that should be a fun one. But before we get to Sunday, we're starting with the always popular top plays of the week. Here's a refresher. Every Friday night, Jake and I pick our favorite plays from the week. We'll reveal them during the Frenzy 15. You can head over to our website, WANDTV.com/vote to cast your vote. And then Jake will announce the winner Sunday night during the 10 o'clock show. Sound good?
Let's see those top plays.
All right, let's get right to it, starting with play number 1. Earlier this week, the Generals missing a 2. Champaign Central comes away with the ball. Braylon McDermott finds Caden Love, and he's going to slam it home, a two-handed slam. Showing some love to those Champaign schools that we don't get to very often, but this one a great play from earlier in the week.
Yeah, and I just got to say, I know that Champaign Central's barn is one of the oldest around our area, but the history that they've got inside that gym is just incredible. I always love having the chance to go over there, and I also love seeing some rim rockers, and you get to see another one on our top plays this week.
Yes.
We move on to play number 2. It's Mattoon's Lincoln Hayes. He's going to dribble it up court, atop the key, and buries it at the buzzer. Mattoon was able to go on the road and get the victory over Mount Zion. We've had a number of big buzzer beaters. This is another one that we've seen, and he sets up shot from pretty well
it looked like it was
beyond the
almost
arc.
half court there.
Yeah, so he's got the range to be able to hit those deep balls. So that's a threat that some teams are going to have to keep an eye on down the stretch here.
Definitely, definitely. Let's get to our last play, but first an air ball. The efforts of Shelby Refno, but she's going to keep it alive. Jessie Wolfler lays it in there. You were at this game for the CIC championship. Good play there for a girl basketball.
They set the tone right out the gate here, is that they would not be just rolling over against Clinton. Meridian, like Shelby is able to go and dive out of bounds, make the play, gets those buckets, or gets those first points on the board with that bucket.
Yeah.
They ultimately end up coming up shy and get second place in the tournament, but hey, heck of an effort there. So remember that you get over to vote for your WAND top play over on our website. You got until Sunday at 8 p.m. Go to WANDTV.com/vote and get those picks in by Sunday night when we reveal them during the 10 o'clock show.
Welcome in again for Tupper's Take, again joined by Mark Tupper. We're going to now talk Nebraska basketball. They play them on Sunday, kind of a revenge game for Illinois, losing to them at home on a buzzer beater. What are you kind of hoping they learned from that game? That was their last loss that they've had this season. They've now been on a 10-game win streak since that game. So what have you kind of seen turn for this team?
Well, I think one thing they've learned and we've learned and everyone's learned is that Nebraska's really legitimately good. And we didn't know that for sure at that time. That sort of felt like a bad loss to me. It doesn't feel that way now. They've been, since Nebraska's lost one game the whole season and played good minus 2 good players. So I'm just not used to these kind of games happening in Lincoln, Nebraska, to be truthful. In West Lafayette, yes. In East Lansing, yes. Bloomington, Indiana, yes. But not out in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah.
And Fred Hoiberger's done a great job with that team. This is a legitimately good team. And I think they feel like they can beat anybody in the country, and they can. I would be tempted to pick the home team when Illinois goes on the road and plays a top 5 team.
Yeah.
But, I like this Illinois team a lot. Great test.
Yeah.
One thing you didn't want them to do was lose all 3 of these difficult road games, and we know that won't happen.
Yeah.
Because they beat Purdue already.
Yeah.
So let's just roll the dice and see what they can do in Lincoln.
Yeah, I think once Kylan went out, these 3 road games against Purdue, against Nebraska, Michigan State, all ranked, we're like, oh no, what's going to happen?
Exactly.
Going up against Purdue, winning at Mackey, I think a lot of people are like, okay, we can beat anybody with this roster that we have. So I think fans have good hopes for Sunday.
Yeah, and the other thing is we saw in the Washington game, you don't know when Ben Hummerkaus is going to hit 4 threes. or when David is going to have 19.
Yeah.
And then, last night really not much from the Ivasic's.
Yeah.
So that might be their turn again.
Yeah,
so
who knows? Anyone can get hot any day.
That's
it
exactly
seems.
right. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And I cross my fingers.
Yes. Well, hopefully on Monday we will have a winning edition of Tupper's Take.
Let's do that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks,
and
Adina.
tune in on Monday for another Tupper's Take.
All right, thanks, guys. Well, you don't just rip off 10 straight wins by chance. It was evident after the loss to Nebraska that they had earlier in their year that the Illini needed a change. It's easy to see on most nights when you look at the box score where that change was. The emphasis has been on winning the rebound battle. Even following the game against Washington and knowing how important Sunday's tilt is against Nebraska, the players said that it's been the largest difference that's enabled them to string together so many big victories.
We just changed our mentality, started living for each other, playing harder defense, communicating more, and when we give our best and try to play hard as possible, it's just points find us and we win.
The coach will say that our defense is what travels, defense and rebounding. And so we locked into those, making winning plays as a team. That's what mattered. And then you get good results that come out of it. Our best offense is our defense. And so being able to travel with your defense and then rebound, it's going to help you win a lot of games.
Defending the paint for Illinois should be no problem against Nebraska. The Huskers rank last in the Big Ten in offensive rebounding, while the Illini are the best. But Nebraska are up there with Illinois as one of the better defensive rebounding teams. Something is going to have to give. We talked about it earlier, is that this is the first Frenzy 15 that we've talked about, or Frenzy 15 that we've hosted since Keaton Wagler popped off for 46 in West Lafayette. They go into Mackey Arena, get the victory there. Then you follow it up with a win over Washington to get to 10 straight. You're in the longest winning streak that they've had since the 2012-2013 season, if I'm not mistaken. If they're able to go out and get a victory against Nebraska this weekend, where do you think they are able to succeed? And if they end up losing, what is their downfall?
I think they go into Nebraska, can get this win. I think it's just going to show that they can really compete with anyone in this country. I think I think they're projected right now a top 2 seed in the tournament. I think it's just going to show that these guys have the chance to make that run to Indy come March and make it to the Final Four, even the national championship. I think it's going to downfall. I don't really want to say there's going to be a downfall, even if they do lose this, because it's a top 5 team who has one loss on the season. So I don't think win or lose, I don't think it's a bad loss, but it could be a great win for them. But like Mark said earlier, them losing to Nebraska back in December, no one thought Nebraska was this good that they actually are.
Yeah, what they put together
contending
has
for
just
a Big
been
Ten.
impeccable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regular season championship. It's, I think after the Michigan State game tonight, now there's 4 teams tied at the top. Win tomorrow or on Sunday, it could be tied for first with just Michigan, and then they come to the State Farm Center later on in February. It could make this last month for the Big Ten is going to be very interesting to see who's going to win outright.
The health of Kylan Boswell was a big question mark once everybody
Yeah.
saw that he went down. But I think that given the way that this team has adjusted, they're playing some of their best ball, if not their best ball of the entire season. It's hard to look at a 10-point or 10-game win streak and look at them and say, no, this team needs to make some corrections. They're doing all the right things. They just need to be able to continue to demonstrate that they can do it on the road. They did it in Mackey. They should be able to do it in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah.
So Showtime, let's move things along. We're going to talk some hockey now. And speaking of Showtime, it's Mr. Patrick Kane. He now stands alone, but from the moment he joined the league, most knew that it was only a matter of time he'd get to this point. Former Blackhawks winger Patrick Kane setting the all-time NHL record for the most points by an American-born player, 1,375, passing Mike Modano, who held the record for over 18 years. As a Buffalo, New York native, Kane was picked first overall in the 2007 NHL draft by the Blackhawks, and alongside some other key names, was a big face for the franchise as they won 3 Stanley Cups between 2010 and 2015. One of my favorite years to be watching the franchise.
There you go. And let's go from one former Blackhawk to a current one. Connor Bedard scored his 66th goal of his career last night. He now has the most goals in franchise history for a player 20 years old or younger. He also scored a couple goals tonight to just keep that going.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I know when he was drafted by the Blackhawks, everyone was like, this is our chance to turn it around. And not the record people are hoping for still. They're working on it, but having Connor Bedard having these kind of nights is...
The rebuild has been longer than I think most Blackhawks fans have necessarily hoped for.
But we were also blessed with Kane, Taves,
Yeah,
all
I mean,
of
you
them.
got to take what,
Yeah.
for what it's worth.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that they've been playing, and I know that more recently they've kind of switched up some of the lines
Yes.
and things along those lines. So hopefully they're able to kind of make it, turn things for the better over the course of like the final stretch of the season. But meanwhile, we've got the Olympics coming up. Winter Olympics going to be right here on WAND. So what events are you looking forward to most once that comes around?
I always like the Winter Olympics because I feel like they're events that no one thinks of. I always like the skiing, all that stuff, but the snowboarding, like the half pipe, when they're flipping and stuff, that just, to me, boggles my mind how they're able to do that so fast in such a short amount of time, too, because you only have maybe like 5 seconds to throw out 5
many
spins
flips.
in a row.
Yeah,
I don't
watched
even know
the
how
X
many they
Games
can
more
do.
recently over in Aspen, and somebody's rolling like a 2640.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know how many
I don't know what that means,
rotations
but
that
sure,
is,
it sounds good.
Math was not my specialty, folks, but unless it's
Yeah.
like in the form of like keeping score on like a basketball
I always like
game.
hockey too, so.
Yeah, the Olympic level hockey games are going to be so much fun to watch. I love watching curling. Just something about something about a game and just seeing the stones kind of just gradually glide across the ice. Something very satisfying about it. I don't know what it is, but that and even the ski jumping.
Yes.
The people are practically flying.
Yeah, you just see the long
mountain.
skis go,
It's
and I'm
just
like,
crazy.
all right, sure.
Yeah, so we'll make sure that you join us on WAND for the Winter Olympics being hosted by Milan Cortina over in Italy. Yeah. Meanwhile, we got more from the Frenzy 15 coming your way. Justin Bozarth, Tuscola's boys basketball coach, reaching a major milestone. We'll tell you a little bit more about that coming up.